Whatever his endgame is, we won't see it coming.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today, we are reviewing 007 First Light, the brand new James Bond video game that just released. I don't even really fully know where to start with just how much I absolutely love this game. The first time that I ever watched James Bond was at the start of last year. I watched the Craig films, which I am a very big fan of. I want to watch more of the James Bond films, I just have not gotten around to them yet. But nevertheless, I became a James Bond fan last year in 2025. So then that summer, when I saw that they were making a James Bond video game, from the very start, from that announcement trailer, I thought it looked cool. But this game turned out being so much more than I ever expected it to be. I am fully aware that what I'm about to say is not an original statement at all. Everybody and their mother is saying this. But this game essentially just feels like if you took Hitman and Uncharted and then smash them together and put James Bond on it. And I've seen some people saying that as an insult, saying that it didn't feel very original or innovative. But my counterpoint to that is Hitman is an awesome game, Uncharted is an awesome game, James Bond is an awesome franchise, and you're telling a really awesome James Bond story. So in my mind, throwing all that awesomeness together into one is not a bad thing. But even still, just calling this game Hitman mixed with Uncharted, I don't think fully does it justice, because I thought this game was actually very unique in some areas. This game is truly a very cinematic experience, and I don't just mean that in the Uncharted cinematic way. Obviously, Uncharted is cinematic because it has these giant Mission Impossible-esque action sequences, and it's awesome to play through. You feel like you're playing through a scene in a major blockbuster. And while First Light definitely has those moments too, and I would say some moments that even top some things in Uncharted, but the other ways that this felt cinematic, I thought were more unique to this game. For example, in a lot of movies, they have training montages. There's a training montage in this game. I've experienced montages in video games before, but normally whenever there's a montage in a game, it's just a cutscene. In here, there's a really cool part where you're going through a training montage, but it actually has you playing it. So it has all the music, all the cinematic beats and cuts of a movie training montage, but you're the one doing the training. And the way that that works from a game design standpoint, they were able to give you the tutorial in such a fast-paced way. Normally in video games like this, the early game can feel a little slower because they're spending more time teaching you how to play the game instead of just letting you go loose and have fun. In here, they found such a creative and fun and fast-paced way to catch you up to speed instantly with James Bond on this. So you didn't feel like you were being held back while James Bond knew what to do, which it can oftentimes feel like in games. In here, it felt like we were learning at the same exact speed that Bond was learning. So while we were improvising, he was improvising too, and that just felt so cool and immersive. And speaking of Bond, I thought this game's James Bond was incredible. I loved the idea to tell a young James Bond origin story. That was such a genius move, because now this feels like a great stepping on point for people who have even never seen a James Bond movie or not familiar with the character or the world. You can just step into this game and it will catch you up and teach you everything, because the character himself is being taught these things that in previous adaptations he might have already known. He might have already earned his number. Now we're watching him earn the number. We're watching him learn about the world of MI6. We're watching him experience his first mission, experience his first failure, experience losing people in the field for the first time. And as he's experiencing it for the first time, obviously it's our first time playing the game, so we feel all of the emotion that he's feeling in the moment. I think all the character work in this game was handled very well. Whenever you would lose an agent, I felt it. Now, I'm not saying that this is the most emotional game that I've ever played. I did not cry at it or anything. But the fact that we would have some characters in here that we did not spend that much of the game with in the grand scheme of things, and yet the impact of them getting injured or of them dying on a mission still really hit me, which I think is really just a testament to how well the character aspect of this game was handled. Now, if there is one complaint that I had a little bit with the story of this game, it would be that I felt in some areas we were moving on too fast from what had happened. Like early on in the game, there is a mission that goes horribly wrong. People die, and then like literally right after seeing people die and people get paralyzed, immediately after that, we go into a super fun Uncharted type mission. And I'm like, could we take a second to take that in? Which I know James Bond is he's a man on a mission. That is his character. So I'm not saying I thought, like, in the moment necessarily, we needed to stop and James Bond needed to stop his stuff because that would not have fit his character. But I thought emotion-wise, we did move on very fast from a lot of moments that I think could have otherwise hit a little harder, had a little bit more of an impact. I think this story did everything that it needed to do. If you're just going into this wanting a super fun James Bond story, you're gonna get that. But if you are someone like me who looks for more emotion in their games, you might be let down just a little bit in that aspect. Now, this did not take away from my overall enjoyment of the game at all, but I'm just saying that I think some of the emotional parts could have been handled with a little more care. With that aside though, I have literally nothing other than positives left to say about this game. These graphics are easily some of the best that I've ever seen in the game. They are so good to the point where these standard gameplay graphics in here look just as good, if not better, than some cutscene level graphics that I've seen in other games. I feel very confident in saying I think this is the most advanced game that I've ever played in my life. Obviously, video games are an ever-evolving art form. Every year, hardware and software gets more powerful than the last, so video games do just get bigger and bigger over time. And this game really did feel like it used all of the power of the current generation to its full advantage. Every new landscape that you go to in this game feels massive and it looks beautiful as far as the eye can see. The graphics, like I already said, are just immaculate. But besides just the graphics, how populated everything is made this a truly standout immersive experience. Every single room that you would enter in this game felt like it just had so much going on, whether it be so many people walking around all doing unique things, while at the same time having just as many things to interact with in every room. There were points in this game where I really got lost kind of just exploring the world because of how truly alive it felt. The Hitman style missions in these areas with so many people walking around, all that you had to find sneaky ways to get behind or to get what you needed from them, it all just felt so real. Like, it felt like everyone was their own individual person. It didn't feel like a million NPCs all programmed to do the same thing. It really did feel at times like you were surrounded by dozens of individual unique people. And this game also never felt like it treated you like a baby. It felt like it actually treated you like you're a 00 agent. Every part of this game actually felt challenging, whether it be the stealth, where it felt like you actually had to be smart about every single move that you would make, or likewise, the combat. I thought the combat in this game was actually very challenging. There were quite a few missions in this game where I had to restart it and try over and over again for like 30 minutes at times. It was challenging in fully the right way. It was challenging in a fun way, never a frustrating way. One minor thing I do actually want to mention there about the performance of this game though, every time that I would die on a mission and have to restart it, it felt like the game would take a hot second to reload that. But that's the only load time issue that I ever felt while playing. Everything else in this game is extremely smooth. Other than waiting for a checkpoint to restart, this game never feels like it actually makes you wait for anything. The load times were virtually non-existent. It felt like the whole game just ran straight through in the smoothest way possible. Especially the cutscene to gameplay transitions. Those were some of the smoothest I have ever seen in a game. I really thought the entire experience was just extremely engaging from start to finish, and this is honestly the most fun that I've had with a new game in years. So if you're into James Bond, if you're into action, if you're into just video games in general, please give this a try. I don't think you'll regret it. It was so good. I honestly think it should win Game of the Year. I was just blown away by this entire thing. But I am also playing through LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight right now, and I've heard a lot of people saying that that has their vote for Game of the Year of 2026. So maybe after I finish that, we can make a review on that. Let me know if you'd be interested, and we'll see if my vote has changed. But yeah, 007 First Light, phenomenal. That's really all I gotta say about that. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like down below so that I can see that you enjoyed it and so that I can continue to make more content like this in the future. If you're interested in seeing my full written review of this game or more of my opinions on games in general, please make sure to go follow me over on Backlogged, which I will have linked down below. Also, make sure to be on the lookout for my review of the Backrooms movie, which should be dropping tomorrow. And until next time, I guess I'll see you in the movies. Bye!